How tranquil and serene is this place, by the way? I love it. Welcome back, my friends. Let's play some more Pokemon Blue. This is your host, LovelyCheesePizza here, and, you know, hearing this music will really help calm me down, considering that I just watched the end of a movie that it really bothered me. Like, I know that it's a big historical thing, and I'm not like a big war buff. Like, I love watching war movies, but I don't, like, always know all of the super intricate details like, say, my dad does or something. But we were watching the movie Glory earlier, that, it's got, like, a really damn good cast of people in it from what I saw. I only got to see, kind of the last main battle of it, but it had Matthew Broderick, it had Denzel, Morgan Freeman, Cary Elwes, it had, like, all these good dudes in it, and I was just like, jeez, when did this movie come out? And it came out in, I think it was like 87 or 89, I don't remember which one it is. But, dude, it's weird. It's really weird that Morgan Freeman, all that time ago, pretty much outside of the fact that his hair's a little gray, looks exactly the same. It's ridiculous. I'm almost positive that he's a wizard. Like, he has no sense of aging outside of just losing pigmentation in his hair. It's ridiculous. I think also this is the first time we've seen Seeking, and that's the best you can do with a super effective move, huh? Okie dokie. And I can't hit you. I can't hit you with this move, apparently. But here's the part about this movie that bothered me. Like, I kind of went and checked the synopsis of this to try to see if there was any more information that was given over the course of it, but they don't say anything. So if anybody knows why this is, please feel free to fill me in, because it really bothers me. So, it's the Union versus the Confederates that are fighting each other, essentially, and it comes to this point right at the end where the Union's trying to overtake this fort it's Fort Wagner. And like, the only way to, get at this place, essentially, is by making a really, really gutsy, and in some cases, probably considered stupid move to go at this thing, and because there's only one way in, and it's a pretty narrow path that's, like, on the beach with virtually no cover at all. And so, they're kind of, way out in the distance looking at this place like, oh, well, we really need to take this thing for strategical advantage, and, the problem is that it's more or less it's basically a suicide mission by trying to go in there. And so they're like, who wants to do it? And so Matthew Broderick, he's kind of the commander of this unit, primarily of black people, and that was, like, a really big deal. Because that was, like, one of the only units of that going on, since that was at a very sensitive time in history. And he's like, fuck it, we'll do it. Why not? And he's like, the guy's like, you guys just fought like 2 days ago. Like, don't you want to rest? He's like, no, not really. And so it's like it's basically a suicide mission, though. He's like, hey, we got character and all that stuff, and so the time comes that they go, they go march in here, and it literally is just a fucking nightmare. Like, they walk up to this place, and the guys up there, they've got cannons, and they've got, dudes stationed up on top of the wall up there that are just sniping these people, more or less. And, and they're just walking. The guy I feel the worst about in this battalion of people is the one guy that's in the front line that's just walking holding the American flag, because that guy, he has no defense system at all. I mean, he's basically he's like the moving targets at the fair, the one where you shoot it and it immediately changes direction. But he wouldn't change. The only direction that he would change would be going from standing and moving forward to just dropping like a sack of potatoes into the sand, because he's got nothing to really take him on with. But so they walk up to this thing, and they're just getting mowed down. I mean, these cannonballs are just ripping them to pieces, and they're sitting there still trying to, is that what she's wearing out in the ocean right now? Is she seriously out in the ocean wearing a mini skirt with with heels? Oh, man. What the hell? It doesn't even make any sense. Why would she not even be, like, she should be asking for help right now. She's like, I'm drowning out here! I fell off the cruise ship that left Vermilion City, and all these swimmers aren't even paying any attention. They're just letting me die out here, essentially. And the water's freezing. But anywho, so, you know, they're getting closer and closer to this place. And it's getting more and more apparent that they're not gonna do this. And eventually, the time comes that, you know, their commander dies, and, you know, and it gets, like, they finally get to this point where they kind of mount the last charge, and they charge up over the wall, and they're killing all the guys that are up on the wall there, and they are able to break through the outer defense of this place. And then they just totally get overrun in there, and these guys just, they look over the wall, and there's just like 5 or 6 cannons, and they all just get blown to smithereens. It's pretty bad. But then, like, both my dad and I, like, when we saw that scene, we're like, why? Like, okay, so you found a way to breach the outer defenses of this place. Why? Because at the end of the movie, I mean, spoilers all over the place, but this movie came out like 30 years ago, so you should have seen it by now. So like, when they go in there and they get overrun, like, that's the end of it. You know, like, they end up showing this little thing at the end saying, well, you know, the Union, you know, was never able to take over this fort, and, you know, and that was kind of the end of that. But, you know, later on, that inspired the Union to, you know, to essentially enlist more, you know, more black soldiers, essentially, is what happened. And so it was a big turning point, which, you know, eventually turned the tides of the war. But we're sitting there watching this scene, and we're like, okay, you know that it's basically a suicide mission to go in here. Why would you not have an entire, like, another full regiment of people behind the army that just went in there? If you had another full set of people ready to go when you breached the wall, you could have totally taken that place. They just, like, threw just this one group of people out there, and they just said, essentially, well, I hope you pull it off, but if you don't, then, hey, we're all gonna die. We're not gonna take a crack at it until later. Like, I think that they like, mounted another assault, like, way later, but it's like, why wouldn't you have just had them there the first time? Like, why would you not have just thrown everybody at that instead of not doing that? I don't know. Maybe I'm looking at this the wrong way. Obviously, I'm not a military strategist by any stretch of the imagination, but it just, that seemed really weird to me, and it's been really upsetting to me ever since. Oh, boy. Wait a minute, did she just say that she loved my ride? I mean, I'm totally not gonna give you drain if that's what you're thinking. I mean, I'll make your life go down the drain if you, I mean, don't get me wrong, you're hot for being, you know, not real or whatever, but hey, you know, if I give you my quote-unquote ride, then I'm gonna have to swim, and that's not happening. Not happening. I mean, this thing's keeping me above the water that's freezing, as people seem to think that it is. So, that's not gonna happen. However, I'm not gonna lose, so even more gooder at this point that it's all like that. Even better. I mean, this is a really, really poor place to be using these types of moves right now. I mean, imagine this group of 4 people that are around here. You know, not only am I casting electric attacks inside of the ocean, but I'm conducting electric attacks inside of the ocean right now. It's a terrible idea. I'm basically committing murder right now. Like, I'm giving excessive volts to everybody in the nearby vicinity. And that's a terrible idea. Like, all the other people that are just chilling around, they're basically getting the death penalty for no reason, and I'm sure they're really not happy about it, and I don't blame them. That's kind of fucked up. It's kind of a problem. So, you know. Even that Goldine's looking at me like, hey man, you really need to change what's going on here. I mean, I mean, I'm a fish and whatever, but you can't be just throwing electricity around in here. Did nobody tell you about throwing the toaster in the bathtub? You can't. Because that's basically what's going on. Pikachu is basically the toaster to the oceanic bathtub that we are in right now. And speaking of Poliwags, by the way, I totally, in Pokemon Go, I definitely finally was able to evolve my Poliwhirl into a Poliwrath today. So, the Pokedex is getting better. I'm starting randomly to find all of these different things that I was never finding before. And I think they're doing that on purpose. Like, maybe they did something with the code to, you know, have more, like higher spawn rates for some of the quote-unquote more rare ones that were in the game. Because I've been noticing a whole bunch of things showing up that never really showed up before for me. Especially because I'm kind of in the same areas a lot, because, you know, I'm going to work or I'm going to the gym or whatever. I don't really get a lot of opportunities to go to all these, you know, various areas around town. And so I've just been seeing all these things popping up, and I think that's because they're getting ready to roll out all the Generation 2 ones soon. You're riding a Pokemon? Can't you swim? Of course I can swim, you dummy. I took swimming lessons at the YMCA, and I totally got in trouble for pulling a girl's pants down. Hey, I was young, okay? I was young, but I did have a little bit of a problem with doing that when I was a kid. I totally did that in kindergarten, and that was my very first experience with going to the principal's office. And the person told me, if you don't stop doing that, you're gonna go to jail forever. And I was like, and then I started crying in there because, you know, I wasn't, you know, oblivious to what prison was. I watched plenty of episodes of Cops with my grandparents, so I knew what that was. And I was like, no. But and I didn't even do it on purpose. Like, it happened. This one at the YMCA, it wasn't on purpose. Like, I didn't just walk up to her and be like, "Oh, hi, Susie." Haha. You know, it wasn't like that. What happened was we were just, you know, they were just letting us do free swim or whatever. Damn, dude, Cedra looks hard. That thing's awesome looking. Oh man, I'm sorry I have to murder you right now, but you know, I mean, it's really sick looking. Like, that's about as sick as you could make a seahorse look, with the fact that you basically took a seahorse and taped two, like, bird feet to the side of its head. That's essentially what they have done. And it's about as cool as you could make that particular thing look, if you really look into it. Yeah, they're basically letting us do free swim, and, like, my favorite thing to do during free swim at that point was to, like, go and swim on the very bottom of the pool, and like, swim between people's legs. I don't know why that was the thing that I like doing, because half the time I do it when they didn't know that I was gonna do it. And so, you know, it was kind of its own thing, but I did it for too long. Like, one time I went down, I tried going through too many people. Like, I actually set up, like, this was one time that I actually set up a whole bunch of people. Like, I tried to see if I could go through, like 10 kids, and the last one that was there was a girl. And I got to the point where, like, through the 8th person, I just felt all the air was going. And so I was like, oh god, I need to start going up, and I tried to get through the 9th one, and as soon as I got through the 9th one, I just started panicking, and so I started like reaching up, just, you know, looking for someone to grab to help me, like, propel myself back up, which I could have just, you know, used the ground, like the bottom of the pool, and, like, you know, vaulted myself up, but I started, you know, losing my sense of reason, and I just kind of reached up and pulled on whatever I could get my hands on to give myself some leverage, and it just so happened to be her pants. And they came straight down, and, like, as soon as I did it, I was like, oh no! And so I got up, and I was taking a gasp for air, and she, you know, and then she totally went and told on me, and I was like, I didn't do it on purpose, yeah, you know. And, so I ended up I had to come out of the pool for, like, you know, 20 minutes. They put me in a mild timeout for a little bit. And that was a bummer, because I got a raw deal out of that. It wasn't even really my fault, you know. I was just having fun out there, and I made a judgment call that backfired. And I panicked, you know. Hey, look at that, we got a level 40. Cool. With Ratigan, the big thing with him is that he will learn, I think he learns Thunder at like 46. It's like 46 or 48 or something like that. It is at that point that we will finally break down and evolve him. But for now, we're not going to do it. By the way, we're actually not that far away. We're not that far away from the entrance of Seafoam Islands. We're not too far off the thing. Also, this is the area, if I remember correctly, this is the area where you would go to finish off the missing no glitch. If you know, if that was a thing that you were trying to do. I remember the first time that I ever did that glitch, and I did it with rare candies, and oh my god, like, I remember, like, writing it down, too, because I went on the internet to find out this glitch, and it was back, you know, back in the days of just really shitty, horrible dial-up internet, and there were so few sites to go to get, you know, cool tips like this, and I remember the place that I went to Game Winners. I went to GameWinners.com, still a place that I go to if I'm ever, you know, wanting to experiment with cheats. I went to GameWinners.com, and they had the glitch there, and I didn't want to use my printer to print the page off because I had arguably the slowest printer on the face of the planet. It was the slowest piece of shit there ever was. It was terrible. And so I actually took a napkin. It was the only thing that was right there. I didn't have any more paper left, and that also, you know, fed into why I didn't do it. But I took a napkin and I wrote down the whole thing, which it's a pretty lengthy ordeal to go through. I remember writing it down on this thing because I was getting ready to leave to go to my grandparents' house, and they didn't have a computer. And so this was like a crucial moment for my weekend. I was like, all right, I'm gonna need to get this thing down so I can try it out. And I finally finished it off. Oh, come on. You're killing me with that. I finally got it written down. I spent the next, like, 30 minutes just experimenting with it. Oh, come on already! Seriously! 7 levels above this damn thing. You would think that I would have the advantage here. But now it's just gonna get even worse. Now you're just blowing smoke in my face. Haven't you seen the commercials about secondhand smoke, Cedra? It's a terrible thing. You shouldn't be doing that. Oh my god. You are killing me with this. If I can get you to fall asleep, your dream is fucking ruined. I'm telling you right now. But yeah, I got to spend, oh my god, just once. Just one time. Just give me one good time. Oh, this is ridiculous. I've used this thing 10 times! Oh my god! 10 times I have used this move. You're absolutely... I know I'm being really stubborn right now. I actually need to save these. I need to save the rest of those. This is so fucking stupid. That is so hilariously dumb that would miss 12 times in a row. And the worst part is I don't even have any damn ethers that I can restore those with. So that was more or less a horrible tragedy in and of itself. Yeah, I know this was a poor typing choice here, but I'm doing it anyways just because. I'm doing it out of anger. It has clouded my very judgment as a human being, but you know his moves don't hurt me either. So you know, we're just going. We're going with the ineffectiveness, you know, carnival right now. Good God, that was the most infuriating encounter I think I've run into. How the hell are you gonna miss a move 12 times in a row, and you're 7 levels above it? It's ridiculous. Quit it, she says. No, I'll tell you right now, I'll have you know that you need to fucking quit it. God, that was awful. That was seriously awful in every sense of the word. But now, my friends, we have arrived, and I'm actually legitimately contemplating on going back. I really am. And I think that we should. Yeah, you know what? I think we're going to do that. I think that's a wise choice for us to do right now. So this is what we're going to do, my friends. We're going to stop right here. And off camera, I'm going to go back to the Pokemon Center, and I'm going to go back and heal up, and I'll travel back down here. And when we come back on the next episode of Let's Play Pokemon Blue, we're going to head inside the Seafoam Cave, and the journey to make it to Articuno is on. So until then, my friends, this is your host, Lovely Cheese Pizza, saying thank you guys for watching, and you have yourselves a great evening, morning, or afternoon, and I will talk to you next time. Bye, everybody. Take it easy.